If you own a Ram 1500 built in the last 15 years, 7 documented problems could cost you thousands, and one of them already forced Stellantis into a federal recall over a fuel system that can leave you stranded with zero warning. We're talking about a HEMI engine that can grind its own camshaft down to metal shavings while still sounding almost fine at idle. A 48-volt system that can kill your power steering in under 30 minutes with no backup alternator to save you. These aren't rumors or one-off bad trucks. They're pulled straight from Ram's own recall data, technical service bulletins, and documented repair records, the same information that answers whether your specific model year and engine are at risk. Stick around because number 1 is the most destructive failure on this entire platform, and it might already be ticking away under your hood right now. Number 7. Transmission thermal bypass valve failure. This one hits the 8-speed automatic transmissions built by ZF, the 8HP70 and 8HP75 units, found in Ram 1500s from 2013 all the way up through 2024. It doesn't matter if you've got the 4th generation or the newer 5th generation truck, this valve is in there. Here's what's going on. There's a small thermal bypass valve built into the cooler lines that's supposed to warm your transmission fluid up quicker on cold starts. Problem is, that valve can stick closed from debris or a worn-out wax element inside it. When it sticks, your transmission fluid never makes it out to the external cooler. That fluid temperature can climb past 230 degrees, and at that point, you're cooking the seals, the clutch packs, and the whole valve body. This isn't just a comfort issue with slower warm-up times. Once transmission fluid breaks down from constant overheating, the friction modifiers inside it degrade, and that leads to clutch slippage instead of the smooth shifts you're used to. You might also see fault codes pop up, specifically P0711 or P0712, both tied to the transmission fluid temperature sensor circuit. If your truck drops into what's called limp mode, holding a single gear to protect itself, that's the transmission telling you it's already overheated at least once. You'll notice it on your dash before it gets that bad though. Watch your transmission temperature readout. If it's climbing past 220 degrees during normal driving, that's your warning sign, along with delayed shifts or harsh downshifting. The fix is actually simple and cheap if you catch it in time. A billet aluminum bypass block runs you $60 to $150 if you do it yourself, or $200 to $400 at a shop. Wait too long, and you're looking at a full transmission rebuild running $4,500 to $6,500. That's the difference between a Saturday afternoon project and a truck payment-sized repair bill. Before we get to the next one, if you want a more in-depth look into how your pickup truck can last 200,000, 300,000, or even 500,000 miles, this ebook reveals the exact maintenance secrets and brand-specific strategies that every smart pickup truck owner should know. If you want to check it out, the link is down in the description below. Number 6. Cabin water intrusion. This affects Ram 1500s from 2009 all the way to 2023. And it's especially common on 2019 through 2021 trucks with power sliding rear windows or a cargo lamp option. There are 2 spots where water gets in. First is the 3rd brake light up top. It's sealed with a foam gasket that dries out and shrinks over the years, letting rain run straight down into your cab. The second spot is the rear window frame on trucks with the power sliding glass. The plastic frame cracks over time because it expands and contracts at a different rate than the glass and the steel body around it. Stellantis actually took the 3rd brake light leak seriously enough to issue Technical Service Bulletin 23-074-23, along with a dedicated warranty extension called XG1 that covers the 3rd brake light assembly on select 2019 through 2021 trucks for 10 years or 150,000 miles. That tells you this wasn't a minor nuisance in their eyes either. If water sits long enough near your floor-mounted wiring harnesses or cabin air vents, you're not just dealing with a musty smell. That kind of moisture can cause electrical shorts, malfunctioning rear seat electronics, And in bad cases, real mold growth in the carpet padding that's tough to get rid of. Once water gets past either seal, it runs down your C-pillars, soaks your headliner, and pools under your rear seat. That's right where a lot of your wiring lives, so you can end up with electrical gremlins on top of a soggy interior. Check your headliner for water stains, especially near the back corners. If your rear carpet feels damp or you're catching a musty smell, that's your sign to look closer. The fix for the brake light seal is about as cheap as it gets, $15 to $40 for a proper closed-cell gasket. And some guys even get by running a bead of automotive-grade silicone around the housing as a stopgap. If it's the window frame that's cracked, you're looking at $900 to $1,600 for a new glass assembly. Call your dealer and check your VIN against that XG1 warranty extension before you pay for any of this out of pocket. Number 5. Exhaust manifold bolt shearing. This is a HEMI problem that's been around since 2009, and it's still showing up on trucks built as recently as 2024. It comes down to a simple mismatch in materials. The exhaust manifolds are cast iron, bolted straight onto aluminum cylinder heads. Aluminum expands and contracts a lot faster than cast iron does when the engine heats up and cools down. The rear cylinders, numbers 7 and 8, take the brunt of it since they run the hottest in the whole exhaust system. Over enough heat cycles, that manifold warps right at those rear runners, and the constant flexing puts side-to-side stress on the factory bolts until they simply snap off. Most of the time, those broken bolt shanks stay stuck flush, with or below the surface of the cylinder head, which is exactly why this repair takes real shop time and can't just be bolted back together. Reinstalling fresh bolts into a manifold that's still warped will only cause the new ones to shear again within 20,000 to 40,000 miles. Once a bolt shears, the manifold pulls away from the seal and starts leaking exhaust. You'll hear a fast, rhythmic ticking right after a cold start that fades away or disappears once the engine warms up and the metal expands back into place. That's an important detail. If your tick goes away as the truck warms up, it's very likely the manifold, not something deeper in the engine like the lifters. A quick visual check for soot tracking around the rear ports or missing bolt heads after pulling the inner fender liner will confirm it. Fixing it right means pulling the broken bolts, resurfacing the manifold so it sits flat, and putting in stronger hardware like grade 10.9 studs with multi-layer steel gaskets. Doing that yourself with an upgraded stainless header runs $300 to $600. Have a shop, do the extraction and resurfacing work, and you're in the $600 to $1,200 range. Go to the dealer for full OEM manifolds and hardware, and that climbs to $1,200 up to $2,200. If this is the first time you're hearing about this, that's exactly why we make these videos. Go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Number 4. High-pressure fuel pump failure. This one is serious, and it's specific to the 3-liter EcoDiesel engine in Ram 1500's from 2014 through 2023. This is the Bosch CP4 high-pressure fuel pump, and it's been the subject of a federal recall. The CP4 pump relies entirely on the diesel fuel flowing through it for lubrication. American diesel fuel is allowed to have lower lubricity than the European fuel this pump was originally designed around, and that gap matters more than people think. When lubricity drops too low, the internal roller inside the pump stops rolling smoothly and starts skidding across the drive cam instead. That grinds metal shavings loose, and those shavings get pumped straight into your fuel rails and injectors at pressures exceeding 29,000 pounds per square inch. You'll usually see diagnostic codes P0087 or P026C show up before a total failure tied to low fuel rail pressure or reduced injection quantity. Pulling the fuel filter bowl or the volume control valve screen and finding fine metallic debris is basically confirmation the pump is already grinding itself apart. The failure itself isn't gradual. Owners have reported a sudden, complete loss of power while driving, along with an engine that stalls and won't restart. Stellantis issued NHTSA Recall 23 V263000 to address this exact problem, replacing the pump with an updated design. If you own an EcoDiesel Ram from these model years, check your VIN for this recall immediately because the dealer repair is completely free. Running a high lubricity diesel additive at every fill-up is one of the simplest ways to protect the pump in the meantime, keeping fuel wear scar ratings low enough to reduce internal wear before the recall gets done. If you miss it and the pump fails on its own, you're not just replacing the pump. Metal shavings spread through the entire fuel system, so you're looking at $7,000 to $10,000 to replace the pump, injectors, rails, and lines. Number 3. 48-volt eTorque motor generator failure. This affects the mild hybrid eTorque system found on Ram 1500's from 2019 through 2024 on both the 3.6 Pentastar and the 5.7 HEMI engines. Instead of a normal alternator, these trucks use a 48-volt motor generator unit that handles the stop-start system and charges your regular 12-volt battery through a converter. There are two ways this thing tends to fail on you. First is straight mechanical wear. The drive belt puts constant tension on the unit's front input shaft, and over time, that wears down the internal bearings until the rotor seizes up. Second is heat cycling cracking the solder joints on the internal power electronics board, cutting off power flow entirely. Whichever way it fails, your 12-volt charging stops completely, since these trucks don't carry a backup alternator like older Rams did. Once the motor generator quits, you're running purely on whatever charge is left sitting in your 12-volt battery. Within 15 to 30 minutes of driving, that battery drains low enough to knock out your power steering and your ignition system, and the truck can stall right there in traffic. Listen for a high-pitched whine coming from the front of the engine near the accessory belt. Watch for a stop and start unavailable message or a red battery warning light on your dash. And pay attention if you see codes P0A06 or P0A1A come up on a scan. Sometimes a straightforward software update to the powertrain and hybrid control modules is all it takes to resolve early symptoms, so it's worth having that checked before assuming the hardware itself is shot. The good news is this component is often covered under the federal emissions warranty, which runs 8 years or 80,000 miles. So check that before you pay anything out of pocket. If you're outside that window, a remanufactured unit runs $850 to $1,200 for parts, while full dealer replacement and calibration lands between $2,200 and $3,500. Number 2. Pentastar rocker arm bearing failure. This is a Pentastar 3.6 V6 problem that spans 2013 through 2024, and it's one guys have been dealing with for over a decade now on this engine. This is a dual overhead cam design running 24 roller rocker arms total, and each one has a small roller wheel supported by needle bearings. Those bearings can wear down or collapse from heat and normal use, and once they do, that roller wheel stops spinning freely. Thermal fatigue, manufacturing variation, and plain old oil film breakdown are all culprits behind those needle bearings giving out over time. It's not always one bad batch of parts, it's just wear catching up with the design. When the roller locks up, it doesn't roll across the camshaft lobe anymore, it skids across it. That skidding grinds the camshaft lobe down and sends metal shavings straight into your oil, while the reduced valve lift starts causing incomplete cylinder filling. That incomplete filling is exactly what leads to the misfires you'll see show up as codes anywhere, from P0300 up through P0306, depending on which cylinder is affected. The sound is a dead giveaway before the codes even show up. It's a high-pitched metallic tapping coming from up top under the valve covers, and unlike the exhaust tick we covered earlier, this one does not go away as the engine warms up. It stays constant and gets faster as engine speed increases. If you catch this early, before the camshaft itself gets damaged, replacing the rocker arms and lash adjusters on one bank runs $950 to $1,600 at an independent shop. Wait too long, and the hardened roller has already worn the camshaft lobes flat. At that point, you're replacing both camshafts and all the rockers, which runs $2,500 to $4,200. Ignore it completely and drive it into the ground. and you're looking at a full engine replacement in the $8,000 to $12,000 range. Number 1. MDS hydraulic lifter and camshaft wiping. This is it, the most destructive and expensive failure on the entire Ram 1500 platform, affecting the 5.7 HEMI from 2009 clear through 2024. The multi-displacement system shuts down cylinders 1, 4, 6, and 7 under light load to save fuel, using special lifters that collapse on command through pressurized oil. When Chrysler redesigned this Gen 3 lifter, they actually reduced the outer diameter of the internal needle bearings while increasing the center axle size, which put more load on smaller bearings. On top of that, this engine uses what's called a reverse oiling route. Oil has to travel from the pump through the block deck, through restrictors in the head gasket, up into the rocker shafts, and down through hollow push rods just to reach those lifters. That's a long path for oil to travel, and at idle, your oil pressure drops to around 20 to 25 pounds per square inch. That's not always enough to properly lubricate the needle bearings inside those lifters, especially if you idle a lot. Once those bearings run dry, they seize up completely. When a lifter roller seizes, it stops spinning and starts grinding directly against the camshaft lobe every time it rotates, wiping the lobe flat and sending sharp metal debris circulating through your entire engine, including your crankshaft bearings. The sound is a heavy, constant metallic tap that never goes away, no matter how warm the engine gets. If you're also getting a P0300 code or misfires on specific cylinders, that confirms it. Catching it early with a high-volume oil pump upgrade runs $1,200 to $1,800 and helps prevent this from happening in the first place by keeping oil pressure up at idle. Some owners go a step further and do a full MDS delete, swapping in non-MDS lifters, a non-MDS camshaft, and a tune to disable the system permanently, which runs $4,500 to $6,500. Once the damage is done without any of that prevention, a full camshaft and lifter overhaul runs $3,500 to $5,500. If metal has already made it into your lower end and damaged your crank bearings, you're looking at a full engine replacement, $9,000 to $12,000 out the door. None of this means the Ram 1500 is a bad truck. It's still a rugged, capable platform that's earned its reputation over the years. But every one of these 7 problems is documented, real, and preventable if you know what to look and listen for. Check your oil, listen for ticking, watch your transmission temps, and don't ignore small warning signs. That's how you keep one of these running well past 200,000 miles. If this helped you out, subscribe so you catch the next one, and drop a comment if your Ram has had any of these issues.